I don't always speculate on comic books, but when I do, I overpay for them at Midtown. Hey there, I have an unboxing video for you today. This order was placed not too long ago from Midtown Comics and unlocked that free shipping goodness, and they shipped it out pretty quickly. And in the order are, I think, I would say, are spec books. I try not to get into a lot of modern speculation or, I don't know, reaching for stories or characters. For me, part of it is some of that FOMO. A lot of my feelings around collecting modern comics, it involves a lot of stress. I am really stressed out when it comes to keeping up with just the modern state of speculation. And there's a particular book in here that we're going to look at that is basically, I would say, the prime example for current day comic book speculation, FOMO, why you should pre-order, how do you pre-order, and then an example again of like what it really costs you in the long run to, or in the short run, to acquire a book like this when you miss out, and just what does it take to really acquire a book that you've missed out on after the fact, like way late in the game. And you probably know the book I'm referring to already, but I'll save it for, you'll see it when it appears when I unbox the order. But a lot of this really stresses me out. And I go back and forth between, do I try and stay ahead of the modern game? I've been producing those FOC pre-order videos, now trying to get them out weekly. I missed last week. And a lot of it is just the stress of keeping up with it. And it's a big time commitment. It's an understanding of the modern game. And when you can do it right, it can be a fun and profitable experience to say, I guessed correctly. I took an educated guess and I read the previews and just I'm reading the story. I see where this book is headed, or I see a character appear, and there's lots of different ways to attack modern speculation. And sometimes I have to attack it afterwards, after the heat has picked up, books are sold out, and so forth. So in this order, we're going to look at some of those books, talk about the speculation, and there are some books in here that I think really aren't being talked about, or at least, I would say are potential ideas around speculation. And I'm not specifically coming up with my own spec here. So this is all borrowed spec from the comic book community, YouTube, apps, Twitter, you name it. It's all over the place. And really, it's just an example of me mining all of that data, putting it together, and trying to put, some informed decision making and intelligence around what I'm ordering. And in some cases, if you want the book badly enough, and it is a book that everybody's specking on, you have to pay for it. So let's get this box opened up, start talking about the books inside, and see if there are comics that you're also speculating on, or there may be some new information that I'm sharing with you that you may find interesting, and you may want to pick up these books yourself. So let's get to the unboxing. Okay, here we go. This is the order from Midtown Comics, placed in late March. This is their standard brown cardboard box, and it's always shipped the same way, with the same packing on the inside. So let's go ahead and unbox it and see if the comic books arrived without being damaged. So you can see here right on the corner, it's got some separation from the top flap. I always worry just about those little things, but we'll see here, see how it goes. All right, here's that super protective paper bag that they ship their books in. Always frustrates me to no end because the paper bag does nothing. They just use that in place of tape. There is tape on the paper bag, yes, but in place of tape, I meant for holding the books together. It does not help protect the books, but here we go. All right, in no particular order, here is the first book. This is Captain Marvel 35. This is the Russell Dodderman spoiler cover. Carol Danvers as Binary, great character. First appeared in was not early X-Men, but in the Chris Claremont X-Men or early X-Men run. So with this one, it's the first full appearance of the Binary Force, and it is separate from Carol. So there's a lot of these entities like the Phoenix Force, or even like symbiotes, where it's like the first appearance of the host, then it's the first appearance of the host and the character together, and then the first appearance of whatever the thing is, the entity separate. So this is one where it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's the first appearance of that Binary Force, and who knows what's going to happen with Carol and Captain Marvel, and or will it attach itself to other hosts? Who knows? But that's kind of what we're going with. Captain Marvel 34 is first cameo of the Binary Force, and 35 is first full. So I don't know if that's the first cover appearance of the Binary Force. It doesn't look like it. It's just a great Russell Dodderman cover. Okay, Agents of Atlas #1. Agents of Atlas is coming to the MCU at some point. A great host of characters on this team. So many options here. Different characters potentially appearing solo or in other properties, going to come together as the Agents of Atlas. And this particular book, it is, I think, volume 3 of Agents of Atlas, but this one is the first appearance of the Protector, Isaac Ikeda, and a little bit of speculation there that the Protector will be an ongoing character or an important character for Agents of Atlas. Nova Special #1. What is so special about this book? Nothing. I liked the Mark Brooks cover. That's it. There's no real spec here. Love Mark Brooks. And when the Nova announcement came down that it was official that the Nova character is on his way to the MCU in one way, shape, or form, Richard Rider, Sam Alexander, both, doesn't matter. This is just a great cover. And Nova Special #1. Most of these, by the way, you can still get at Midtown for the price I paid, and you can also get them other places. Doctor Doom #1. This is significant because this is technically Doctor Doom's first... Oh, it's the first issue of his first solo series. And if you can't get the character's first appearance, origin, second or third appearance, or first time he meets somebody, or whatever, a lot of times you will go after the first issue of their first series. And huge gap, obviously, between his appearance in the 60s and his first solo title. I think they came out in 2021. But wanted to grab that great cover and just kind of thinking if Doctor Doom's going to show up, then, why not get the first issue of his first solo series? Strange Academy 15. So this is a little bit of the speculation talk or speculation topic that I was talking about, where we have this first appearance of Gaslamp, not to be confused with the Gaslamp District in San Diego. Go Padres. This is first cover, first appearance. And this book was very, very quickly sold out. And Midtown happened to get this book back in stock a couple of different times. I missed out on it the first time it came back in and finally grabbed a copy here. Now, when I purchased this, the fair market value was $23, and it is down to about $15 on this one. Luckily, Midtown didn't really price gouge too much. Sorry, not price gouge. Raised prices to market value. I don't know what you want to call it. They didn't raise the price on this too much, so it was still very affordable. And we'll go over the order analysis here after the unboxing so you can see what I paid for these. But initial graded 9.8 sales are around $125 for this one. So it's still, I think it's still a worthwhile purchase if you can get that book for around the $15 or even $20 fair market value, if you believe in Gaslamp. It's a cool character, cool style, I think, of the character too. Okay, back to Captain Marvel 35. This again, first appearance of the Binary Force, and this is again Russell Dodderman doing another cover, and this is the spoiler design cover, not an incentive, open order. And so again, just grabbing a couple of different variations of the first Binary Force. Love Russell Dodderman's art, so kind of a no-brainer for me. Okay, Devil's Reign X-Men #1. This one has the first appearance of Isabel Donovan. She's an ally of Emma Frost. Has kind of a cool backstory related to Emma, also related to Elektra. Elektra ran into Isabel when she was young and trained her. And the speculation here is that that character of Isabella Donovan is probably somebody that I think Marvel can reuse in some other properties, even just in the comics. But kind of a cool, younger, sort of sidekick of Emma Frost. And then I got the cover B. This is actually done by Scott Williams. If that name sounds familiar, he's the longtime friend of Jim Lee who inks all of Jim Lee's art, or almost all of it, I would say. And this is him on pencils, and gorgeous, great Emma Frost cover here by Scott Williams. Eternals #10, and this is the Raka Foreshadow variant with Uranos. I like to call him Uranus. It's kind of fun, but technically I think it's Uranos. To each their own. But this is possibly his first cover appearance. There's the Eternals Heretic that kind of has him in the shadow, sort of, but you kind of know it's him. Don't know much about this character. He first appeared way back in the original Captain Marvel, speaking of Captain Marvel, but was not on the cover, then was in a What Ifs story, again, not on the cover. So there is some rumblings that this is the first cover appearance. Again, don't know if this character is going to be significant in any way going forward, but just picked up one copy at cover price. Okay, this is a cover that's making the rounds. This is Amazing Spider-Man 93. This is the Scott Gleason cover, and you can see that it spells out Chasm right here on the cover itself. So pretty cool. Spoiler alert, Ben Reilly becomes Chasm. And Gleason's been kind of hitting it with these sort of, they call them like webhead covers. And Amazing Spider-Man 55 was like the first one. I think the price has come down, but still raw, somewhere around 25, 30 bucks. So this one shot up right now. I think it's around 20 or 25 bucks. I got this for cover. This is one of those like limit one per customer. So that's also just another general tip. If you're shopping on Midtown, you can actually search for limit one per customer and it will show you all the books. Doesn't necessarily mean they're any good, but typically there are books that they're holding back and limiting. And you can kind of search and pick through those to add to your collection. All right, this one I'll open up. It is backwards. Love these. Look at these Midtown bags. Just fantastic. I love getting the books out of these and replacing them as fast as possible. So I got Something is Killing the Children, number 21. This is the standard cover A. And this is the first appearance of Gabby, potentially a new recruit to the Order of St. George. I really don't think it's a matter of if, it's a matter of when Something is Killing the Children is picked up on or picked up for a series. And kind of in a similar way to Walking Dead, I think it's just going to, like, all the character first appearances are going to be important. And I also got the incentive by the great Dan Mora. So I picked it. I think this incentive is still available. Uh, do I have to get another copy? Because this might make mine a 9.6 right here. So that's unfortunate. But it's the way it goes at Midtown sometimes. But yeah, a little damage there on the corner. So with issue 21, there's some spec around that character's appearance and making number 21 significant. Here is Iron Patriot number 1. This one is one of those where you're kind of putting some things together and hoping it pays off later. This is the first appearance of Lila Rhodes. She's the niece of James Rhodes. And with Armor Wars coming up in the MCU at some point, starring Rhodey, he's going to need a supporting cast. And Lila Rhodes is a great character. She helps Rhodey with his armor, has ties to Tony Stark. So really great character, and kind of builds out the family of James Rhodes, which is what they're going to need to do to kind of, help round out the story of Armor Wars. Okay, this last book here, last but not least, is that big spec book that I was hinting at. No surprise here, but maybe a surprise that I purchased it for what I did. This is Black Panther number 3, and this is the Alex Ross cover A. This is, I think I talked about this too. There's some variants and incentives, but this is the cover that everybody kind of picked up on and got used to. And I think when people see this, they immediately feel like first appearance of Tosin, this is the book to have, and we'll see. So totally whiffed on this one, and certainly kind of like with Strange Academy 15, buying this book after or at the peak, I think I have personally helped drive the value back down, because it's almost like, well, once I have it, it's not quite as special anymore. And that's just the kind of the way it is. But I wanted to have a copy. I have one of the variants. I have the Jusco variant. I did not have a cover A. Midtown had a cover A in stock. It was very expensive. It was way over fair market value, and I paid for it anyway because I didn't know how else to get it, and I didn't trust getting it from eBay. So I paid an extra $5 or $10 to get it from Midtown, hoping that they would send it to me in a 9.8, and here it is. So it's one of those where if you're speccing on a book, sometimes you have to pay for it. It's just the way it is. If you can't let it go, if you're FOMOing and you can't just move on to another book, it's going to cost you. And speaking of cost, let's look at the details of the order, and I'll go through and show you what I paid for the books and compare it to fair market value, and we'll see if the order was worthwhile. Okay, here we go. This is the order from Midtown Comics I placed on March 29th, 2022. It was a 14-book order, I believe. Let's see here. 14 books at total cost of $155.14. I unlocked free shipping. I did pay $13.47 tax and distributed that cost across all of the books here in column Z. Make sure my math is correct. Now, fair market values are plugged in, and I kind of already know the big winner and the big loser here, but let's look at the numbers here. The raw value is a comparison between the cost and the cover price fair market value, and it's a loss of 4 cents. So overall, a break-even order, obviously. The big loser, so to speak, is Black Panther 3, that has a fair market value of about $43, and I paid about $55 for it, so a difference of $11.76. So a reach, an overbuy. It's one of those where Midtown's like, listen, we have the book. It's going to be expensive. You really want it. You're going to have to pay for it. I did. On the other hand, here we have Amazing Spider-Man number 93, which I picked up at a total cost of $6.95. And currently, according to Cover Price, that book is selling for about $26. So in that regard, I gained $19. That's really what kept this order afloat. Nova Special, I whiffed on that one. It's only a $2 book. Strange Academy did okay, gained about $7 there, so not bad. Just kind of all over the place, really, with some of these, which is very typical. We can plug in the grades, but I don't believe there are values for these. Let's just see if any of them are reporting as being graded. And there are some. Iron Patriot #1 at $90. Black Panther #3 currently at $270. Doctor Doom #1 $148. Strange Academy 15 $126, and Agents of Atlas #1 at $90. So if I were to grade this order and those specific books graded out in a 9.8, then I would have stand to gain about $475 if I were to send those books to CGC in a 9.8. So again, it's sort of risk reward here, paying $55 for a book that is currently $279 or $270 in a 9.8. Again, this is where I'm kind of weighing everything. And to me, if I'm going to buy that book on eBay, I don't believe I have a shot at that book being a 9.8. Even if there are scans, you can take 50 pictures of the book. There's probably something that I'm missing. And that's really why I end up gambling more with your sort of traditional online stores, and I avoid eBay. Because there's part of me that feels like, let's say you're sitting on a stack of Black Panther #3s. You cannot tell me, if you regularly sell on eBay, that you're going to put 9.8s up there raw and just sell them for $40 or whatever they're going for now on eBay, right? 35, 40. So you look at this order and go, hey, dummy, why are you paying $55 for a book that has a backup story with a character's first appearance that is all the hype because of a online article? And we can get into all of that at some point, but why spend the money there at Midtown? Just go to eBay and wait for an auction to close and get it for 30 or 32, just because I don't believe those are 9.8s. Again, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't sit there with a stack of 50 Black Panther #3s and just go, you know what? I'm just going to sell them all as is. And some of them may be 9.8, some of them may be 9.6. What am I going to do? I'm going to grade them all. I'm going to find the 9.8s. I'm going to send them off for grading. And then I'm going to take whatever's not a 9.8 and put them up for auction on eBay. I believe that most people who have Black Panther #3s, that's what they're doing. They're savvy. They're educated sellers. They're doing this on purpose. It's deliberate. With Midtown, they could be doing the same thing. But in my experience, I have been able to get lucky, or have just been fortunate, who knows, where a lot of times they will send the book as a 9.8 because they have raised the price. They have helped inflate the price. And so they feel like it's okay to go ahead and since they're more expensive than eBay, I can only guess, but I think the mentality there is, we're going to raise the prices because some of these books are 9.8s, and they're in a different, they have different business objectives. They're a different business model. They don't have a ton of CGC slab books. They have some, but it's not a part of their business. If you look at a lot of your Shopify stores, lots of those places have slabbed books. And then alongside those slabs, they have raw. Do you really think the raws are coming in 9.8 when there's a bunch of slabs sitting there where they themselves send books to CGC and put them for sale on their Shopify store? So same goes for Mile High. There are graded books there, but that's not their business model. Their business model is not to acquire books grade them, sell slabs, and then dump the rest of the inventory. And whether it's true or not, that's how I feel about eBay. That eBay is a place to put all of your non 9.8 raws up for sale. And I've had some books come back and it's a head scratcher for me. Like, it's borderline 9.8. But I do see the defects in the book where I'm like, that's why the seller let this go raw. So there you go. It's one of these where if you're going to FOMO a little, or you kind of want to join in the fun of having the book of the moment, which for a while there, earlier in 2022, Black Panther 3 was the book of the moment. And in some regard, it still is. We have to see where they take the character, which remains to be seen. It does have that second print, which he's on the cover. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I pre-ordered that one to make sure I didn't miss on the second print there, which, by the way, is at Midtown for a cover price too. So a lot of these books that you saw in this unboxing are still there. I like this order a lot. It's not in a current value perspective. It was a break-even order, but I think there's a lot of potential in these books, and I'm happy to get them from Midtown, and I'm looking forward to going through and grading them. So there you go. Thank you for watching. Happy collecting, and see you next time.